We have Mariah.
Mariah Season Wellness.
Season Wellness.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I'm huge into peptides and hormones and everything. And so we're like, we were talking to her last week or a couple weeks ago, and she's like, oh, she's my best friend. And she does all this hormone wellness stuff. So we're like, it's just right up our alley and stuff I like to talk about. And the female hormones, like, it's so confusing. And like, no matter how many lectures I've gone to, I'm like, one thing is I deal with a lot of breast cancer patients too. So it's a touchy subject with trying to help them with hormones, with, their oncologists and stuff. So, and I try to listen to as many experts that do more, and like, especially females that go through it themselves, especially like you started your journey on your own, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, even I'm hearing a doctor sit here and tell me how confusing hormones can be. And as a woman who goes through her, her hormonal cycle every single month, we as women don't have any of this information about our hormones. When we go through like sex ed and we learn about our periods and our menstrual cycles, that's like all it is. It's like, oh, you bleed for a week and now you can get pregnant. But we were never taught the hormones, specifically the sex hormones that pulse in. And when they pulse in, it's a 28 to 30 day cycle. It's not just 1 week.
Yeah.
And those hormones need support in specific ways. And I think if women had this information, their lives would be so much better. Like, we would be able to, instead of resisting, like going through our periods and our monthly cycles, we will be able to flow through it with ease.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's huge. Like, well, I'm married. Like, for people that are married, like, when your wife's about to go through a cycle before they even know it. And like, well, my wife, a couple days later, she'll tell me, she's like, oh, I'm starting my period. And I'm like, yeah, I knew that a few days ago.
Right.
I can tell right off the bat, So like, to be able to, I've tried to do different supplements or like help her with different hormones and stuff to try to get her balanced out where we can kind of work with it so she's not having all the symptoms of PMS or whatever it is, so she can go through it. But like, I haven't gone into the comprehensive, it starts with like doing lab testing. The labs testing is confusing itself. Like, what do you like to use for like lab testing? I know you had some of the stuff that you do that you talk about.
Right. So I'm an integrative health practitioner. Yes. I was trained by Dr. Stephen Cabral, and I'm a level 2. So that means that he has taught me how to look at functional medicine labs. So those are different markers than regular labs. And then determine from there, like, what protocol, what lifestyle factors we can bring in to start rebalancing the hormones. So I've kind of stopped using them as much. They're very expensive. Insurance doesn't cover them. But if somebody has the money and wants to pay, then I definitely will, because it shows me great insight into the door that we need to enter first and how to start rebalancing and healing. So we do what's called a stress, mood, and metabolism test. So it's measuring cortisol levels. It's measuring your estrogen, your progesterone, your testosterone, your estrogen to progesterone ratio is very important. We're also measuring your cortisol 3 or 4 times throughout the day. So we have different levels. So from that point, I can really see, okay, maybe the estrogen to progesterone ratio is completely off. She's estrogen dominant. Her adrenals are burnout. I would call that like stage 7 adrenal dysfunction, where her cortisol is just tanked and really low. So going in for a woman like that and rebalancing, we need to be very, very careful because they're very sensitive to, going in too hard and too fast with different lifestyle practices, especially like fasting. I really believe first that a woman can rebalance her hormones if she is living a really good lifestyle and doing the inner work. a lot of times with women, I don't even need to do a lab test. I can just look at them and see how they're behaving and what's going on in their life and know, yeah, your hormones are going to be out of balance. Your cortisol is out of balance. Most of the time, I always start with their metabolic health. So we start with their blood sugar.
Okay.
So the gatekeepers of all of your hormones are insulin and cortisol.
Yeah.
So we have to get those under wraps first.
And the cortisol, you're testing 4 days. Is that 4 times in a day?
Yeah.
It's saliva test that they do?
Okay. It is. Yeah. So that's really helpful. But I would say most women who come to me, they've tried everything.
Yeah.
A lot of them want to do bioidentical hormones, which for some is great.
Yeah.
But what I'll also say is a lot of time the women, they do the bioidentical hormones and they're not working like they should be working. So what women were never taught, we have to have the right vitamins, minerals, and nutrients to make a hormone.
Yes.
And then we have to be able to metabolize that hormone.
Yeah.
And then we have to be able to detox that hormone. So if you put a woman on bioidenticals and she's not doing the lifestyle work, then that hormone that you're giving her now, she's not able to metabolize still or to detox. So it is still going to cause imbalance and you're not going to get perfect results.
Yeah. And is there a form of the hormones that you recommend for females that are doing the hormone replacement? Are they doing pellets, shots, or creams?
That is not my area of expertise. I would say bioidentical hormones first. But I have a lot of friends who are using pellets and creams, and they're working great.
Yeah.
I will say if you are going the hormone route, you should also be working with a lifestyle coach to really start focusing on doing the inner work, on healing. I mean, you can activate so many different healing pathways in the body on your own.
Yeah.
So I use fasting a lot. I was trained by Dr. Mindy Pelz. She has the framework Fast Like a Girl, Eat Like a Girl, and Now Age Like a Girl. And those are her books. You can read about them. But using those frameworks, the Fast Like a Girl framework, actually, we have put women through it who haven't been able to get pregnant, who have been in just terrible PMDD or premenstrual syndrome where they want to kill themselves. They feel like they're going crazy. They feel like they're losing their mind. You put them through this 28-day fasting and eating reset that works to support their hormones, and everything shifts. All of those symptoms go away. Women are actually now getting pregnant and can have a baby. All of those PMS symptoms are going away. Women who were able to lose weight are now fat burning all the time and are in very good health, in very good shape. So I use fasting, but when women fast, they have to do it in sync with their hormones. Yeah. So I like to look at hormones through a lens of, I like to make it easy. I'm not a doctor. And when the doctor who taught me, Dr. Cabral, about hormones, I was still confused. Yeah. Like looking at the charts, okay, we have all of these hormones coming in. Dr. Mindy taught me to look at it as your hormones have a love language, your sex hormones. And we have to know each hormone's love language. Yeah. It's like having, a husband and his love language is physical touch, but you're just giving him gifts all the time. Like you're really not filling his cup. And that's kind of how it is with your hormones. If you're doing the wrong thing at the wrong time, you're going to tank your hormones. So like estrogen, I call her the radiant diva. She loves fasting. She likes low insulin and low glucose. She can handle stress. She can handle heavy workouts. Testosterone needs low stress, low toxins. Progesterone needs nurturing, calm, and higher levels of carbs to come through, and low cortisol. Yeah. So looking at it in that way, it's really easy to remember. And I feel like that's what all women should be learning, because that's so easy to think about.
I think that's huge. Just how you explained it.
Yeah.
Kind of puts it into
Yeah.
perspective for a lot of people.
A
if
lot
they
of
can
women don't
understand
even
it.
know, like 10 days before their period.
Yeah.
I call it the nurture phase. And that's the time when you recognize in your wife
Yeah.
that she's a little like triggered. You
Yeah.
know, maybe there's a little anxiety, maybe she's biting her head off.
Yeah.
That's probably because she hasn't been nurturing her progesterone.
Yeah.
Her cortisol might be spiking, which is tanking progesterone.
Yeah.
She's not eating nature's carbs. Maybe she's like leaning into keto or doing heavy workouts.
Yeah.
Those things all tank progesterone, and then you're going to feel those symptoms.
Yeah. Yeah. for
So
sure.
really, it is just about supporting the sex hormones and
So,
education.
so what, like the 28-day fasting, what's
Mm-hmm.
the protocol that you're actually,
Yeah.
or a sample of it,
Okay.
at least, because it's not the same for everyone. So,
No. And so, and I'll let Tiana to pitch in here. So the 28-day reset, so now I do group coaching. I just feel like I can help more women in a group space and we can keep each other motivated. And it's like we have a fun community. So I lead a group of women through the 28-day reset. And I tell them, 2 weeks before we start prepping our body, we start eating whole foods. We start making sure we're hydrated, drinking electrolytes. We start getting sunlight. Sunlight is one of the missing nutrients that is a key driver for hormone dysfunction. So we start getting sunlight, sunrise in our eyes, sunset at night. And then day one, we enter this 28-day reset in, depending on what day of your cycle you're on. All women should be tracking their cycle. If you're not tracking your cycle, you can't optimize and you don't know, what day of your cycle you're on, so you don't know the hormones that are pulsing in. So day 1 through 10 of a woman's cycle is considered a power phase. And that's also part of the follicular phase.
Yeah.
And that is when estrogen is starting to make her entrance, days 1 through 10. So hormones are kind of low. Day 1, you start your period. Day 1 is the first day you bleed of a woman's cycle. So during days 1 through 10, during that follicular phase, it's called the power phase. That's when we can lean into longer fasts. So I like to lean into metabolic flexibility, getting into ketosis. So we start eating more higher fat foods, less carbs, less sugar. We start fasting. It depends on if you fasted before. Maybe we'll start with an 18-hour autophagy fast.
Yeah.
It activates all of the cellular healing. And then maybe on day 2, you won't fast, but you're still going to eat keto. Day 3, I'm going to have you jump into a 24-hour fast. So we are varying our fasting lengths, days 1 through 10, anywhere between 18 hours and, for the really experienced, 72 hours. So that 3-day fast that is a complete immune reset.
Yeah.
Okay, after day 10, you're on day 11. And this is when you're starting to go into ovulation. So days 11 through 15, we call this the manifestation phase. This is where all of a woman's hormones are pulsing in.
Yeah.
So it's her estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone. They're all coming in. During this phase, this is what we like to call a woman's superpower phase.
Yeah.
She has all of those hormones pulsing in. The estrogen is peaking. So that's making her more vibrant, more radiant. It makes her smell different. The pheromones are different. It is, getting her ready to have a baby.
Yeah.
And so we don't really want to fast too long during that manifestation phase because we don't want to activate autophagy and toxin release from the fat, just because you don't want to tank that progesterone that's coming in. So we only fast maybe 13, 14 hours during that phase. And we're eating hormone feasting foods. So we are bringing up our carbs and our glucose, nature's carbs, clean proteins, healthy fats. Okay. And then we go into day 16, which is the power phase 2. That's after ovulation. All of the woman's hormones are dropping back down lower again. So that's kind of when she can feel and fast more like a man, because all of those hormones that were at their peak are now dropped. So she can fast for longer. She can get back into keto. She can do her HIIT workouts. When we get to day 19, that is your nurture phase. That's when we have to slow it down, start calming and nurturing and preparing for progesterone to make her entrance.
Okay.
And when that progesterone comes in, that's what we need to eat: more nature's carbs, more glucose, the clean proteins, healthy fats and greens, and really just support ourselves and not do too much, or else we tank the progesterone. Okay. So the fasting link's there. You don't fast at all. So 10 days before a woman's period, she should not be fasting at all.
Yeah.
So we're really using the follicular phase to get into deeper healing fasts.
And are you just running this like all throughout, or are you doing like cycles, like 28-day cycles, or 3 or 4 months, and then taking time off?
Yes. So I practice this pretty regularly. Yeah. And usually the women that I help and run through this 28 days. So in the group course that I am coaching right now, we are just going to run through 28 days and then the course is over. Okay. But yes, I would start it up again every month. Yeah. I mean, that could be a woman's fasting routine to help clear old damaged cells, to help regenerate stem cells, to help her fat burn and lose weight. Fasting is really the most powerful way to activate your inner fountain of youth.
Yeah. And when you're talking fasting, is it just water fast, or are you using, some people like to use essential aminos because they get headaches and stuff, or like even ketone esters to kind of kick you more into ketosis when you're doing them.
Yeah, you can definitely use all of that stuff. When we're doing the 28-day Fast Like a Girl reset, I always want my ladies to be supported, and especially if they want to work out when they're fasting. And like when my husband's fasting, he takes the aminos, perfect aminos, I think. He will also take creatine. No, not just water. I feel like our water isn't really healthy enough to keep us going through a fast. Like you need minerals. So my favorite products are the Beam minerals. They're fulvic and humic. They have 70 trace minerals. If I have a headache, I'll take a couple of shots of that. Yeah. I drink Element, electrolytes. I drink a lot of lemon water, a lot of mineral water, sparkling water, herbal tea. Yeah. And you can take the, if you're really struggling in a longer fast, I have taken like MCT oil. Yeah. And that kind of helps me out. Okay. If your blood sugar is kind of dysregulated and you're hypoglycemic or going low, that can help you.
And have you tried any of these like fasting mimicking diets, like Prolon or anything?
Yeah. I haven't tried them myself. I have friends and clients who love that. Yeah. There's so much research that's done on it that it really works. Yeah,
the guy behind it's pretty big. Like I read on Reddit, like, some DIY ways to do it, but I'm like, when it comes in a 5-day package, but like the tough part was like just eating that soup. It's like, I am a soup person, but I'm not a like a lentil soup type of person that has nothing else than, and it's just basically salt. Salt water almost. So
I did hear that maybe the quality of the ingredients weren't that great. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into the ingredients myself.
They've improved them, but I haven't tried the new one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just tried like a 48-hour fast because I came back from Spain. I was like, all right, let's not eat so I don't get the jet lag. Yeah. So it did pretty well, but like I think my circadian rhythm's still out of whack. I'm like waking up at 3 a.m. instead of when I'm supposed to. So
yeah, for sure. I think if you are not going to fast because you're too scared of not eating for 48 hours, then I think the Prolon would be great if it gets you into a fast and autophagy. Do you ever use a ketone or a glucose monitor when you're on the Prolon? So like double check?
I haven't. Like I've used a glucose monitor, but not while I did the Prolon. I did the Prolon thing once. I haven't tried it because, I don't know, the soups kind of threw me off. I was like, I'd rather, because I'm usually on a 16, 18-hour fast on my own, so I usually don't use their stuff. I do use ketone esters almost daily. And
what is that?
So ketone esters, like all this other ketone salts and stuff, they actually don't work. The ketone esters are like, I don't know how to explain it, but they're like pure ketones that like feed your brain cells, give you energy, and where you can go through and that's what I used in my 48-hour fast. I take like a shot of it, and it's like 5 mLs, 5 to 10 mLs every like 4 to 6 hours or so. And like it feeds your brain cells and like energizes you.
Ketones,
So you don't really need anything else. You don't need to eat or anything. And it kicks you into further ketosis.
I think that would be great, especially for people who are struggling to get into ketosis, because if you haven't detoxed your liver in a while, you know, your liver makes the ketones.
And the ketone esters, like,
they just work.
Like Ketone's the brand I use. There's Ketone IQ. Sprouts carries that now. Ketone IQ doesn't kick you as much into ketosis as the Ketoneade. Ketoneade was one of the first products. And I think Dave Asprey originally got with them, and they used it. He said it was like $5,000 for like one drink. Now it's like, it's still pretty expensive, but it's not that $5,000. I pay, you know, $70 to $100, and I get like 3 60 ml vials, which usually you take 5 to 10 ml, so it lasts you almost 20, 30 days for that.
I can see the benefit of that, especially, you know, you're a plastic surgeon.
Yeah.
You probably have to go into surgery, and you have to make sure that you are supported and have that energy.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. I like, you know, once I got into shape, it was more about how I can improve my brain, like to be like just more functional brain-wise, because in the operating field too, just being microvascular surgeon stuff, you just, it's just more like you consuming your brain and seeing how functional you are. And it has definitely helped out. And I've used different things along with that to try to get this like brain superpower.
Yeah. I like to go into a deep therapeutic state of ketosis, and I do this by taking my ketone reading, my glucose reading, and I know when I get to a GKI of 1, that's when all of the deep brain healing is happening. I was in a pretty bad car accident a couple years ago, and I did use that therapeutic state of ketosis to heal very quickly, and it really works. So, I mean, ketones are amazing for healing.
Yeah. So besides the fasting, what are your major lifestyle changes you like to, you know, when someone comes in, like they're just living their sedentary lifestyle, eating McDonald's or whatever. When they come to see you, what are your first like 3 steps or 5 steps you're like, you got to change these before, like, you know, whether it's better sleep, exercise, what are your recommendations?
It differs with each person,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you, I do have personal experience with clients like that, and people that come to me that are really overweight and don't have the money to do lab testing and don't have the money to do really healthy foods all the time. Yeah. So if it was somebody like that, I first tell them to start getting sunlight. Most people are so light deficient, they're not even able to make sex hormones. Like, they're not even using the cholesterol. The sun actually activates your cholesterol and sends it through the hormonal pathway instead of building up in your blood. So sunlight starts working on that. And then I noticed too, mitochondria health. If their mitochondria are damaged, they need to start fasting in order to start the mitophagy and regenerating and that kind of thing. So I would usually, the lifestyle practices that we start first, sunlight, always sunrise, sunset in your eyes, on your skin.
At least we're in Arizona, so that's good.
I know. Yeah. If you're in Iowa, where my family's from, a lot of times they don't even have the vitamin D in the winter, the UVB. So we sometimes will use sunlights in their home, but we always clean up the food. We clean up their metabolic health. So I always usually suggest, and I would suggest this to anyone wanting to be age-proof and wanting to anti-aging strategies, to use a continuous glucose monitor. Yeah. But because we can't balance hormones with insulin and cortisol.
Which one do you like?
Well, I go through this company called Thea Health.
Okay.
And so they use Libra,
Yeah.
the Libra sensor, and I really like it. It's been
Yeah.
great.
It's not that costly. That's the thing. Like originally I was like, oh, that's going to cost quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it doesn't cost much at all.
Yeah, the prices have gone down, so it makes it, a little easier. But I'll do that for 2 weeks.
My
with somebody.
question was like, when do you test it after eating? Like,
Oh, the glucose and ketones? Yeah. So during a fast
or whenever, like
Okay.
when
Just
you
to
got the
test out,
glucose
like-
monitor, I was like, when do I put the thing up to my phone?
Oh,
Yeah.
so like a continuous monitor?
Yeah.
Mine is like the one that I use, it's always like,
It's on the time.
Yeah.
it's like,
This is like 15
yeah,
minute
it's in an
intervals.
app and I can see it like
Yeah.
all the time.
Oh, I
but
had to like tap it.
yeah,
see
some of
my
the
numbers.
older ones,
Yeah.
you do have to do that.
Yeah.
I like to see like where I'm at when I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
I like to see what my cortisol is doing. Is
Yeah.
it like going off the charts from my coffee?
Yeah.
Or, maybe I need to add a little fat to my coffee. I also like to look at it maybe about 2 or 3 hours after I wake before I eat
Yeah.
and
What
see
way
where
do you
I'm at.
add fat to your coffee?
What?
What way do you add fat to your coffee?
It's usually through raw coconut butter or
Okay.
MCT oil.
Okay.
I like
Because I've
those
heard
too.
a few people talking about putting just the grass-fed butter
Yeah.
in there,
Hmm.
and it tastes very similar to just doing a cappuccino.
Yeah, I think that would be really good. That's why I like the coconut butter. It does taste kind of like butter, but
But
very
bulletproof
coconutty.
was you had to
Yeah.
emulsify it with the grass-fed butter,
Mm.
so like the particles got in there. But like, yeah, getting fancy. Like, I tried all different. Like when I did the keto diet, like for a while, I tried like I had all these MCT oils, different brands. Like this one's better than the other. Trying
Yeah.
different kinds. The grass-fed butter definitely tasted the best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I don't like the
thick
taste
and
of
creamy.
MCT
Yeah.
oil, really.
No.
I think
Coconut butter is really good. My wife used to make these like Reese's cups. It's just half coconut oil, half almond butter,
Yes.
and just like freeze them, and you have your snack like for like 2, 3, 4 snacks a day. Those worked out pretty well too.
So good for keeping those ketones up too.
They're
While
tasty.
you're fasting. I
So
know, they're so
tasty.
good. Yeah.
How about let's talk about what we do with perimenopause and menopausal women and how you're still helping them manage and go through their different hormones.
Yeah. So, well, kind of like
Actually, we can really benefit from learning from anything about women going through hormones. That would be great.
You missed
Yeah,
out on
I
some
know.
good stuff, man.
Yeah.
You need to watch this.
Yeah, I
so
will.
so
I will
go
watch
back
the
into it,
first
but you missed
half.
out on like the
Yeah.
mother load.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying
Yeah,
not to talk too
listen to
much.
that on the way ride home.
Yeah.
It'll help you.
I
Give me the raw
love
material.
that you guys are wanting to know this information, and it'll be so helpful too, like to understand your wives and their emotions and their feelings. So with menopausal women, perimenopausal women, I'm really lifestyle based. We focus on a really healthy and clean lifestyle, and there's a lot of women that think that they're doing everything. They got their weighted vest. They're doing 10,000 steps a day. They're working out. They're getting into ketosis. They're fasting, but it's not really synced up with their hormones. And I'll say I have worked with a lot of women, and we've done a lot of the lifestyle stuff and a lot of the detoxing work, and they still weren't getting better, and their hormones weren't shifting. And I pondered for so long, and I finally realized what the missing piece was for women going through perimenopause and experiencing like really harsh symptoms. It's usually their mental health, their thoughts, and their emotions. So in my group coaching, we always work on the inner work, which is always the thoughts and your beliefs and traumas and emotions. So if your emotional state most of the time throughout your day is self-hate or stress, chronic stress, you're always like go, 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 and you have to do this, and you have a huge to-do list. This is actually telling your body that you're in fight or flight, you're releasing cortisol. You are really shutting down the whole sex hormone pathway to producing sex hormones. So your hormones are going to be out of balance. So we work a lot on emotional balance. But the number one piece to doing the inner work and really helping women get back on track going through perimenopause, I feel like they're going through a hormonal transition, like this huge hormonal transition. They don't know where they're going and they don't know how to get through it. Yeah. So I always start with having them craft a vision. So I think I've heard you guys talk about envisioning going through a surgery before you do it and walking through it. For women and for anyone looking for rebalancing their health, they have to craft a vision. So I take all of my women through vision crafting. And the vision craft really is like the architect. It's like your highest self is the architect. It's like you are creating a blueprint for a home, but it's for your health. And so you have something to align with throughout the whole journey together. Her vision that she creates, it's like, what would she look like if she were in her best health? Yeah. How would she feel? How would she make people feel when she enters a room? What would she look like when she enters a room? Would you look stressed and tired? Are you going to look vibrant and healthy and excited? So we get into as deep as how does it feel to be this new version of you? Because really, if women can't see themselves well, if they can't believe that they can be well, then they're going to stay stuck in, whatever belief or limiting belief or trauma that they're holding on to. So we have to throw all of that out the door and create a new vision. They have to see themselves well. We start there.
Yeah. Like you take them through like a guided vision quest type of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I have meditations, I have journeys. Yes, I do.
Yeah, no, and like, part of that, like I meditate before I go to sleep. Like just like calm down your vagus nerve and like your parasympathetics, getting, so you're nice and relaxed, and then wake up, do something more mentally. I use a Mendy device in the morning to be more focused. Different things that help me kick into different vision phases. And I think it's huge and important with like meditating to get to sleep, so you clear your mind out of everything.
I feel like he's usually meditating when his wife or I'm talking to him.
I am.
He is.
I
he
usually
is
am
definitely somewhere else. I've done in this conversation.
I've done so much meditating that, like, when I don't meditate, I'll come off hot. Like, if someone tells me something, like, I'll answer them back immediately and might be the wrong way. But like, if I've like been on point with my meditation, it's just you come out with a better answer, like, and just makes more sense to everyone, and like people believe you more than like just spitting like your knowledge at them. I think
it's also rest and reset for the mind too, so that like, because like for like our wrestling matches, like everything I had to bring back to like wrestling and like growing up. It was 6-minute matches in college, 7-minute matches, but you can't, like, none of the good wrestlers were just always attacking. Like you recoup, you gather yourself, and when the person's vulnerable, you have enough energy to attack. And if it requires an extra 30 seconds, 45 seconds of attack, you finish that and get your takedown points or back points, whatever it is. The funny part is, a few years ago, we were actually hanging out at his house. It's us, 4 boys, all physicians. And we never talked about it at all, but just like I asked all of them, I was like, you guys meditate? All independently, yes, quite a bit. And I was like, so that's how it relates. Like your mind needs that rest, that reset to just prime itself to like, when you're not required to like go at it mentally, like you should give your mind some break time, some downtime, So then when it's needed, like it can just fire on all 9.
How big are you on sleep?
Huge. Yeah, sleep is number one. That's also in the lifestyle practice for perimenopausal women. Sleep is at the top. I wear my Aura ring.
Yeah.
And so your Aura ring tells you how much deep sleep you get a night. And the deep sleep is important because that's when we are healing our brain and regenerating the brain. So I say around you need an hour and a half of deep sleep. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I'm usually like, as long as you get at least an hour, like I can't like
Hour minimum.
if I get an hour, like I usually can't sleep after that. Like sometimes it's like last night was an hour and a half, but like it goes up to 2 hours. But as long as I get an hour, I feel refreshed in the morning. If I don't get that hour, like you wake up groggy. Yeah. For sure.
Like on my monitors, I don't know if it's psychological. I'm like, 48 minutes. Oh, this is going to be a rough day.
Yes, I feel the same. If I know I've had kind of a bad night of sleep, I don't even want to look at my Aura ring.
Mine's been weird because it'll like there's been a few nights where my deep sleep's like 30 to 40 minutes, but then my REM sleep's like 4 hours. I was just like, how am I doing this? Like, even if I wanted to, I don't know if I could like get my body to do this. And I don't know.
Yeah, there's different ways, but I mean, that's really getting into, health optimization and you got to have more time and consistency. But I think, getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep, I don't know. I think sleep is different for every person. Like my husband needs like a good 9+ hours of sleep. I can do 6 or 7.
Yeah,
I'm
usually
genetic
6,
mutations that some people go by with like 4 to 6 hours, and that's what they do their whole life, and that's what their body needs.
Yeah, yeah, it's not.
Yeah, we both have like the 8 sleep that also tracks your sleep, and I've tried like going all the way cold, all the way hot, and like it's just messing around with it to try to, because it's supposed to have AI and like heat and cool, so it keeps you asleep. But I don't know. If
I wake up middle of the night sometimes and I'm like freezing,
too cold.
I can't get back to sleep.
My favorite thing to get more sleep at night is to make sure that I'm not on a screen or around any blue light at least, 2 to 3 hours before bed, which can be really hard if you live in a household where nobody else is doing that. But I think the worst thing that a woman can do for her hormones is like be in bed
until
looking at her phone.
Screen until trying to go to sleep.
And I use Viva Rays glasses. I call them my hormone balancing glasses. They have 3 different lenses, and so I use the more yellow ones. It's a full spectrum while I'm on my computer during the day. And then when the sun starts going down, there's an orange lens. And then after the sun goes down, I put on the red lens. And that helps. I fall asleep right away. I sleep deeper. I sleep longer.
Yeah, I set my iPhone to that the blue light setting where, but then I can't read it. So
I know.
I'm like, turn the light back.
My hardest thing is when I wake up randomly at like 4 o'clock. My alarm's set for 5:30 or 6. It's not that much longer. I'm like, can I fall asleep? Can I not? Oh, let me just check this one thing on my phone since I can't fall asleep. I'm like, if I check this one thing, I'm definitely not falling back asleep. So it's like, granted, you woke up at 4, you better be good to go. So
I usually just put one of the headsets on and just meditate back to sleep.
That's a great idea.
It works.
Honestly, the thing that's worked best for me to fall back asleep, I cover my head with the sheet. And I don't know if it's the CO2 concentration, but like that, like,
it's like knocks you out.
Or I'm suffocating myself to sleep. And like, it's the only way. I'm like, oh crap, I feel a little cold.
I think the thing that usually works, and like, I probably don't need the headset on to do it, is just like, you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds.
Box breathing.
Or like hold it for 7 seconds and breathe out for 8 seconds. You do that 3-4 times, you're almost like automatically asleep. Just doing the counts too. I think like that helps like knock you out usually.
Counting the sheep.
It's a good trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
I think that the box breathing does really help with like kicking your parasympathetics off, and like just trying to think of it like medically, scientifically.
because you're thinking about counting too, counting and breathing. So like you forget about everything else.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah.
So it calms your mind in that set, and then like chemically in your body, just the negative pressure in your chest from holding all that oxygen in, there's receptors like telling your heart to calm down, getting your blood pressure down a little bit, and like just having that extra bit and then the extra effort to like slowly exhale, like that helps with like the more fast acting hormones and chemicals in your blood, like epinephrine and
So for us, a huge part of our practice is breast cancer patients, and like I do want to talk about this, and you probably have plenty of patients that are breast cancer survivors, and like it's so hard because they put them on hormone blocking medications that I'm not a big proponent of, but I'm not going to go against any of the oncologists or anything that are putting these patients on them. But they feel miserable, and I'm like, you know, like you got to kind of look at it like, do you want to be miserable? And it like there are a good amount of studies that say it doesn't improve the survival. It improves disease-free survival, but it doesn't overall improve your survival. So I'm like, you make the decision. You know, especially when these patients are coming in their 60s, they're just getting to their retirement age, and now they have cancer, and they want to live their life to the fullest, and now they have hormone blockers. They're already in menopause. They're just starting to get on hormone treatment, and now they have to kick all that out and feel like shit. And like, how do you respond to people going through breast cancer? Like, we treat them, you know, there are patients that we still want the hormone treatments, and we work with them to see what's right for them. But how can some lifestyle changes for them be?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have a couple of clients who have experienced, breast removal, breast cancer, oophorectomy, hysterectomy, and I mean, they are in a terrible state because their hormones aren't in balance at all. They've shut down a lot of their sex hormone production just by going through those surgeries, especially the oophorectomy. It's coming back to lifestyle.
Yeah.
It is seeing yourself as well. It's crafting that vision.
Yeah.
And seeing yourself well and knowing that you can heal. Yeah. And then from that vision, you start aligning everything, your actions, your thoughts, your beliefs, everything you align with that highest self vision, that vision of you getting well, and especially the thoughts and the beliefs. That's going to be huge. Your thoughts and your beliefs really, they direct your biology. Yeah. They direct your neurotransmitter release. They form your biology. So we have to get their thoughts and emotions in check. Sunlight, number one, we need to start activating that mitochondria. We need to start activating the feel-good neurotransmitters and the hormones that they do have. And that happens through sunlight activation, through the eyes, through the skin. Number two, I would do whole foods diet. And I would, depending on the cancer and the person, the longevity diets are, going lower in red meat. And I would say doing a really heavy plant-based, clean protein, maybe wild-caught fish, that sort of thing, working on the nutrition. Yeah. And then I would definitely start fasting. Yeah. If I had cancer and I didn't want it to come back and I didn't want to do the hormone blockers, I would start fasting. I would start helping my body to activate those deep healing pathways to regenerate and to clear out those cells that aren't functioning properly. So I would do 72-hour fast, like maybe once a month. I would do a 3-day water fast, and I wouldn't mess around. I wouldn't do the prolon. I wouldn't do fast mimicking. I would do like electrolytes and minerals in water and let your body activate all of the healing pathways and see if you know what happens from there, if your body can rebalance. Because if you put your body in the right environment where you have your sunlight, your food, you're fasting, you've cleared out all of the toxins, that's something we could talk about too. Women going through perimenopause and even cancer should be detoxing quarterly. I like to use a functional medicine detox. It's very gentle because we come into contact with toxins every day. And I mean, it is all the plastics in the water. We have to make sure that we are getting that out. So I would do that as well.
What's the functional medicine detox? Like, what is that?
It's amazing. If you guys want a reset, I mean, I don't rave about anything. I mean, I kind of rave about the fast like a girl stuff, but the functional medicine detox is my all-time favorite product. It was created by Dr. Stephen Cabral, my mentor, my teacher. It is either you can choose 7-day, 14-day, or 21-day. Yeah. It comes with a daily nutritional support powder. It has all of your vitamins and minerals that you need on a daily basis. And then it comes with 2 bottles of pills. And one is like functional medicine pills. I'm forgetting exactly what's in there. And the other one is Ayurvedic based. But what they do is open up the phase 1 and phase 2 pathways of the liver so you can start detoxing. Yeah. So if you're doing a 7-day detox, here's how it would look. It is a 2.5-day fast. You are drinking 1 scoop of this powder. There's a little bit of protein in it. And then a lot of vitamins and minerals. So you're drinking 1 scoop of this powder 4 times a day in water. So, I mean, it's kind of filling. You feel supported. You don't feel like you're lacking. And then day 2, you're doing the same thing. You're fasting. You're drinking 4 shakes. The 3rd day in the morning, you're having 2 scoops of this shake in your water. So that's more like a meal, but it's liquid. So you're still kind of getting the benefits of the fast. So it's 2.5 days. You break your lunch with plant-based vegan lunch. So the first 2 days, 2.5 days fasting. That 3rd day you can start eating. And it resets your body because of the food. So at lunch, it's always vegan. You're getting plant-based protein, fruits, no fruits, just vegetables and greens. And then for dinner, it's more like a paleo style. So you can have your protein, lean meat.
See, he used to make fun of me because I used to be like, I'm vegan for lunch and then eat protein at night.
I just
That's
like,
the
dude,
longevity
you just can't say that
diet.
though to vegan people
Like,
that are
if you wanna go
doing vegan because
vegetarian.
they don't want to hurt animals. So you can't say, oh, I'm just vegan until dinner.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay, I didn't eat a banana for a few days now. Do you know what I do for my cleanse? I go to P.F. Chang's for lunch for 7 days in a row. That cleanses me completely. And I don't feel the need to eat because I feel sick as shit.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if that's the best way.
I
But
don't know. I should study it though.
well, it resets your eating habits, number one. The fasting really is amazing for losing any inflammation, water weight, that kind of thing.
Little things I think it also helps with. Same thing with like going keto, because going keto, you cut out carbs. And when you cut out carbs, you don't eat as much. Same thing with fasting, because you have smooth muscle cells. That's what your stomach's made of. It's just like a sack of smooth muscle cells.
It's the all-American carbs.
Yeah,
so
it's and then like even like skeletal muscle, when the fibers stretch out a little too much, it has harder time being able to contract down. So then, like as your stomach grows, it releases chemicals to tell your mind that you're full. But as you keep pushing that, you build up tolerance and tolerance. Mm-hmm. So then like this is why people get their stomach stapled. That's pretty much just getting a portion of the stomach removed. And they've historically been able to eat through that too. Like 30% have a failure rate, even though they have like half their stomach removed.
Is it a higher failure rate than 30%?
It's at least a third.
Yeah.
It's at least a third between all gastric bypass.
Because some of them turn into having a full-on bypass after the.
Even Roux-en-Y full bypasses. That's
Then
that's
get on
30%.
GLP-1s after that.
Yeah, so you need a full
Yeah.
you need a full regimen of like controlling your diet. This is before GLP-1s. You need good endocrinologist, dietitian, all this stuff to make sure that you're giving yourself the best chances to succeed at weight loss after getting some of your organs switched around or cut off. So I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, fasting, I feel like, can also
PF
activate
chance,
your
that's what I was-
natural GLP-1 activation, the natural peptides in your body. So I always tell women, like, you can activate GLP-1s. You don't have to pay. Like, this is happening inside of your body when you're fasting. And especially, like, doing with the functional medicine detox, if you do that for 3 weeks, I mean, it's pretty amazing what starts happening. I was walking down the street and somebody was like, "You are glowing. You look so amazing. What, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, I just stopped drinking for 3 weeks and, did a detox."
Yeah.
So I do think that people who have cancer, breast cancer, definitely adding a detox in quarterly.
Yeah, I think, for sure. Like, once you find out you have cancer, it's like there's something causing inflammation. But some people come in and they're like, "I've lived this healthy lifestyle, been a gym rat, eat clean and healthy." But like, the thing they don't see is like, there's toxicity in their brain that, like, either it's who they're with or just the lifestyle they're living, like their work, that they don't recognize that. Like, and then on top of it, they're like type A personality, they're working out like crazy and thinking that's good for them, where it's causing more inflammation than it is good for them.
Yeah, I teach the women in my program, there's 5 primary barriers to self-healing. And I also like to say that cause inflammation in the body. And a lot of times people aren't aware of them. So it's toxins like heavy metals and environmental toxins. It's pathogens, viruses, parasites, bacteria that you're unaware of. It's the environment and lifestyle. It's the your emotions, and then it's traumas and limiting beliefs. So it's usually the emotions and the traumas that people just completely don't think about.
Yeah, and I just went to Europe last week, and this week I've gotten more compliments on how lean I am. And like, all I did was eat like croissants and ice cream with the kids. And like, I ate plenty of carbs when I was there. I think we did a lot of walking. That was one thing. But like, it's like what we get in our meals here, it's just dangerous. And like, I try to eat as clean as possible. I have my own chef, like, try to cook us. But, every once in a while, like, my wife likes to order out all the time, so I'll order something with her. But I'm just going to stockpile meat at home. So, like, I'm just eating pure meat.
Yeah, I think for me, with doing Mariah's 8-week program, I'm one of those ones who nothing's really wrong. Yeah. So nothing's wrong, but I know it could be better. Yeah. I work out all the time. I have good energy. I just started hormone replacement therapy. It's okay. Now that I heard you just say that, like, why some people think it's wonderful and some people don't feel that much, that really speaks to me, because I'm kind of like, oh, I don't even know if this is worth it. My labs were off, but it's not worth it. But to learn about this, because even as a woman who's pretty outspoken about a lot of things, we're still uncomfortable speaking about this. Yeah. Like, you say bleed and I kind of go, oh, or, different things like this. So it's not things that we talk about. And then when you put emotions and feelings to the different hormones, it makes so much sense to think about how you want to care for it. And I mean, I have no plans. God bless you, because I'm loving your program. But I have no plans on living every 28 days of my life like that. But I plan on living these 28 days like my life like that.
That's almost like living like Brian Johnson.
Right.
Like,
and then,
all right, you're going to live till you're 180, but you're going to have spent 30 minutes of enjoying yourself out of that.
That's what's called
but you know the difference. You know the difference, right? And you'll know the things that work for you and how it works, and then know how to reset yourself.
Well, that's
when you
the
need
thing.
to.
I don't do that, 360 days.
But like, when you become conscious of how you feel,
that's right.
And that's like what I do. I'm like, all right, these peptides make me feel good, or like these exercises make me feel good, or these foods make me feel good. So these are things I'm going to incorporate. Or like, I can tell when my hormones are at, I'm like, you know,
I can tell when his estrogen is through the roof.
I can tell when they're out of whack, like just slightly. The Aura Ring tells me part of it, but like a lot of it, like I'm like, all right.
just feel it. You
I
feel
mainly use resistance bands, and I'm like, well, that resistance band never felt so heavy, and it's like an overnight thing where I'm like, all right, I need to go and get my pellets or something like that.
Yeah, you want to feel good.
Yeah.
And for me, like I'll take all summer off. I'll just go have fun. I'll travel. I'll eat whatever I want. I'm not fasting.
Yeah.
And then I know that I have the tools to come back to that work.
Yeah.
And that help me feel better.
Yeah, and detox is the big thing. It's like, you know, I do like a liver cleanse, like a GI cleanse, like whatever I need to, like especially going on vacation. Although like vacation, I think the food's better than like, especially when you go to Europe, like you almost don't have to detox when you go to Europe. But like if you're saying US and North America, you pretty much have to because of the US grains and like all the rest of the stuff, like bottled waters, whatever it is, that are putting all these inflammatory products into your system. Always do a detox every 3-4 months.
Yeah, that's good. I think everyone should living in America. I think they would feel a lot better. Our hormones would be balanced. I mean, I feel like our hormones are so imbalanced because of the toxicities in our food system and our water system. I think it plays a huge role.
What are your thoughts on statins?
Oh my gosh.
I know you're not a medical doctor, but
I'm not, but I'll tell you, I was just thinking about it today.
Hormones.
One of my dear friends, she's been battling like really bad menopause symptoms, and she got on hormone replacement. That's not working. She doesn't want to do any of my programs. It's just too much for her right now. She doesn't want to look at her lifestyle. But
quick fix.
Yeah. And then she went and she got on statins. She just told me she's on statins. So I guess, and I would like to get your insight onto this. Yeah. When you're on statins, like your cholesterol is lowered, right? Like you're not, are you making any cholesterol? So now how are you making your sex hormones? How are you keeping your testosterone?
That's the thing. The levels that your PCP wants you at, you're not making those hormones. You know, like you get to 200, you get to 200, 210. No, they don't. But like so you get to 200, 210 there, because my mom, they were like, oh, here's statins. And, you know, there's other natural peptides and stuff that you could take to lower cholesterol. But like her cholesterol was 210. I'm like, no, you're already you're 60. Now she's 70, right? Yeah, she turned 70 this year. I'm like, you definitely don't need to take a statin. I'm like, your cholesterol's at 210. I'm like, that's fine. You can live with that.
I'm glad that you told her that. Yeah. Because I don't understand. Like, why would you put somebody on a medication to lower cholesterol instead of going to the root? Because now you've taken away the main building block of your sex hormones. Like you're not going to be able to make testosterone, estrogen. And instead, what I see, the root of high cholesterol, and I think I mentioned this earlier, is really you are not getting the right sunlight. That sun hits your skin. It is taking the cholesterol, turning it into vitamin D. Yeah. This whole process is happening. Number one, you could start with a sunlight diet. Sunrise, sunset, working out outside, getting it on your skin. And number two, it is a mitochondria problem. If you don't have enough energy in your mitochondria to do, that conversion of the cholesterol into the hormones in the mitochondria, like you're not going to be able to make sex hormones, and your cortisol is going to end up sitting in your blood looking like you have high cortisol instead of you recycling it and using it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying for no one to take statins, because there's people with they have genetic abnormalities where they don't break down the cholesterol, and they're like in the 300s, 400s, and they have high risk of cardiac death.
They have certain enzyme deficiencies that don't break down certain steps.
But you do need to look at, it shouldn't be like, I'm going to take statins and fix the problem. You do need to look at what's causing your cholesterol to be that high, and fixing that, and then, having the statin, you could take the statins to lower them, but figuring out how to come off those statins.
Just remember being on rotation, like third year med student with the urologist. He's just like, oh yeah, I take my statins. You should too. It's like, really? How come? It's like, I just take my statins and eat steak every night. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then he'd stick his finger in their butts. So I don't know if it's just kind of ridiculous getting advice from people you think that are informed. You're just like, oh, this works for me. It's like, but
part of it's, you know, like with the American diet also, like going into talking about whole foods is like, that's where, you know, your cholesterol being high, when they say red meat's okay to eat, don't eat just like any red meat, because you're going to get this hormone laden, like red meat that's going to spike up your cholesterol and everything, and it's not going to have your healthy fats, it's going to have all your bad fats. So like
processed red meats associated with early onset Alzheimer's also.
Yeah.
Dose dependent. So the more you've eaten like pepperoni, salami, all that stuff, the more you eat it, the quicker onset you're likely to get Alzheimer's.
I hadn't heard that.
I hadn't heard that one either.
Yikes.
Processed things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a retrospective review. I read like.
Was it salami from Italy or? Was it
no, probably not. But
Yeah,
I will tell you
better?
one thing. I did keto during training for like close to a year. It worked phenomenally. I felt great, but my cholesterol went through the roof.
Yeah.
Like I was prone, like I had high cholesterol when we were younger. I think that's more, rather than being genetic, is I didn't actually fast before the test. I was like, I'll have a little cheese or something like 2 hours before the blood test, and my cholesterol's through the roof. But so when I was like telling Sarah I'm going to go keto again, she's like, no, your cholesterol went crazy high last time you did it. But I'm like, oh, I was in training. I wasn't eating healthy. I was eating out of the vending machine, out of the cafeteria, a ton of processed red meats.
Seed oils too.
So it was just not necessarily even seed oils. Like it was mostly like salad and red meat, but like my keto friendly snack instead of potato chips is pork rinds.
Oh.
Which is like you shouldn't eat like processed pork rinds. Like I don't care who you are. Like that just shouldn't be part of anybody's diet. I was like, okay, got calories, got protein, got no carbs. Here we go. So I just look back. I'm like, oh, that's probably what did it. I didn't really have enough access to quality foods to do that at that point in my life.
Yeah, when they like, there were certain keto diets that would talk about like eating the pork rinds. That's why paleo was more like on the whole food.
Because it's more clean.
Yeah.
For women, I usually don't have them go full keto. It's called Bioidenticals, and that is keeping some of the healthy greens and vegetables in with clean meats.
Is there a target grams of carbs a day?
Yeah, it's under 50.
Okay. Yeah, I was going for like under 20.
Yeah, and that's almost too severe for women going through hormonal issues. Yeah. It can be, especially if they're not getting the right sunlight. But the Ketobiotic works really well because it's still working with their microbiome. And for women to break down estrogen properly, they have to have a really strong microbiome. And we call that, I don't know if you guys have heard of the estrobolome. It's a part of the microbiome that it does exactly that. It breaks down estrogen. So a lot of women aren't catering to that. And that's probably too why, if they're getting hormone replacement therapy and it's not working, is their estrobolome and microbiome are totally out of balance.
Yet.
They're what?
They're not. Oh, hormone replacements. Never mind.
Well, if they are and they're not working like they want them to, a lot of times it's just they're not detoxing the hormone, right? But so Ketobiotic is what I do. I don't go full. And I mean, I don't like eating keto. I don't like it. I don't like eating meat. I hate dairy. I feel like whenever I eat dairy, I get inflammation in my shoulder.
I love cheese, but I don't like the way I feel when I eat.
Yeah.
Dairy.
So
They've cut out milk.
I don't know. I cut out milk, but I'm like kind of getting back on milk. I'm like, getting protein shakes, and that's what it's made out of.
Yeah.
If you're getting your good
proteins.
grass-fed milk, I'm like, what
Yeah,
better
the
protein are you
sourcing
gonna
is
get?
definitely something.
Yeah, if you or like, you know, the carnivore diet, they're all about raw milk. I don't know if I'd go for raw milk. I always hated it as a kid, so. But
Goat milk, maybe.
it's unpasteurized.
It smells like shit.
Yeah,
It's gross.
I don't think I can't do goat cheese, so I highly doubt
I love
it.
goat cheese.
Goat milk.
My son had to drink goat milk when he was a baby. So
Oh, yeah,
my
he
whole
had
journey
allergy.
started with, a very sick baby, failure to thrive,
Yeah.
couldn't keep anything down, even that like really bad.
Colic or
Yeah, but even like the powder that they
Yeah.
gave me
Yeah.
to feed him at
Yeah.
the gastroenterologist. I mean, it smelled like dog food. It was supposed to be like broken down proteins, but he was
Yeah.
throwing that up too.
Ah.
So we, from a doctor, she said, well, the only thing he's not allergic to is goat's milk. So we
Yeah.
made this goat's milk formula,
yeah.
and he loved it, and it changed his life. He was like a totally different kid once we started giving him that, and he thrived.
Nice.
So
It's supposed to be great
yeah.
for your microbiome and
Yeah.
like your
yeah,
a ton of great probiotics and stuff, prebiotics. So
but
it just has a funky little.
now I
goat
can't
taste
stand the
to it.
smell of it.
Yeah.